Hello and welcome to TTVNEWS broadcasting on Tay Ninh radio and television station with some latest events in Tay Ninh province. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 6th to 9th of September, Go Dao district continues to conduct the third phase of SARS-CoV-2 screening test.
On September 6, the communes including Cẩm Giang, Thành Đức, Hiệp Thạnh, Phước Trạch, and Phước Thạnh of Go Dao district started deploying the third phase of SARS-CoV-2 screening test. On September 7, it was deployed at Bảo Trồng and Phước Trồng communes. On September 8, it was deployed at Thành Phước commune and businesses in Phước Trồng Industrial Park. Finally, it will be carried out in Go Dao town on September 9. The testing teams have organized mobile sampling coming to residential groups to take samples. Compared to the first and second phases, this time was conducted more quickly. After the second screening test, Go Dao district no longer has very high-risk communes from 6 to 3 high-risk units, namely Phước Trạch, Thành Phước, and Go Dao town. It shows that the measures of social distancing as well as epidemic prevention and control in the district have been effective. Three communes of Bảo Trồng, Cẩm Giang, and Thành Đức are classified as at risk. The remaining communes of Phước Trồng, Phước Thạnh, and Hiệp Thạnh have been set to a new normal state. Meanwhile, in the morning of September 7, our communes and town in Duong Minh Chau district organized the third phase of SARS-CoV-2 screening test. After the second test results, the district has 6 out of 57 hamlets that have been assessed as a yellow zone, an area at risk. The remaining hamlets and quarters have been green or safe zones. In this third phase, both regions have been implementing the aggregate PCR testing with 10 samples every 7 days, carried out testing for representatives of households that move a lot, workers of companies, factories, medical staff, people who directly provide services, take care of customers, waste collectors, and transporters of medical waste. Because people have not been able to take samples themselves, the district has set up teams to move to each area, ensuring that each area gathers less than 50 people and keep the distance according to regulations. According to the plan, 11 communes and town of Duong Minh Chau district have conducted simultaneously testing on September 7 and 14 and end on September 20, 2021. Tân Châu District Labor Confederation recently offered gifts to union members and workers with difficult circumstances in some enterprises in Suối Ngô commune. 65 gifts from the Provincial Labor Confederation with a total value of nearly 20 million Vietnam dong, including rice, necessities, and masks, have been given to union members and difficult workers working at Thanh Thái Private Enterprise, Hoàng Huy Company Limited, and Nguyên Liêm One Member Company Limited. In addition, the District Labor Confederation also offered a supporting amount of 30 million Vietnam dong to 5 cases of F0 and 10 cases of F1 who are workers of Hoàng Huy Company Limited. In the last month, Tân Châu District Labor Confederation has mobilized organizations and individuals to support nearly 100 million Vietnam dong. In addition, it also mobilized 94 staff and union members to participate in the collection of samples for SARS-CoV-2 screening testing.
Recently, Mr. Nguyễn Tiến Tân, Deputy Secretary of Tay Ninh Provincial Communist Youth Union, visited and encouraged the delegations, officials, and volunteers who participate in the COVID-19 prevention and control task, as well as those unfortunately infected with the pandemic.
In the last time, wrote an appeal letter from Tay Ninh Provincial Communist Youth Union, more than 700 union members and youth voluntarily participated in activities at the front line of the COVID-19 epidemic prevention and control. The union officials and volunteers were not afraid of difficulties and dangers, rushed to the front lines and actively participated in tracing and sampling work, contributing to improving the effectiveness of epidemic prevention control in the localities. However, during the operation, 8 officials and volunteers were unfortunately infected with COVID-19. Currently, the infected cases have been isolated and treated according to regulations, and their basic health is stable. At its destinations, Mr. Nguyễn Tiến Tân kept distance and paid a compliment to them by phone. Through the forces on duty at the treatment area, the Provincial Youth Union also sent a letter of compliment and a gift worth 1 million Vietnam dong to each volunteer, wishing them a speedy recovery and continuously accompanying the local COVID-19 prevention and control activities.
Turn to other news. Ladies and gentlemen, facing the complicated developments of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ninh City Department of Education and Training actively builds online teaching plans flexibly, suitable for each group of students, prepared on the best conditions to enter the new school year safely and effectively.
The 2021-2022 school year in the city has 50 kindergartens, primary and secondary schools with more than 28,000 students. Schools classify groups of students who are eligible for online learning such as mobile phones, iPads, computers, televisions, etc., and groups of students who are not eligible for online learning in order to have specific support solutions such as teaching via television, guiding learning at home. According to statistics from the educational sector of the city, currently 88% of secondary school students and 74% of primary school students are eligible for online learning. Particularly for preschool level, schools do not organize online teaching, but connect with parents in many ways to propagate the work of nurturing and educating children at home. Our children will be examined and supplemented with knowledge as returning to schools and assessed according to regulations. On September 8, primary and secondary schools in the city held the opening ceremony, and on September 13, they will hold the opening ceremony and admissions. All will be done with the online form. In the coming time, when the epidemic situation is under control, the city's educational sector will have a teaching plan suitable to the risk level of each locality, flexible combination between face-to-face and online teaching to be both effective and safe for epidemic prevention and control.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Tay Ninh province, after the second phase of general screening testing, Trang Bang was one of the localities with high case of infection in the community, in which outbreaks were detected in the boarding houses of workers. Therefore, in the third phase of screening test campaign, Trang Bang has plans and solutions on how to quickly separate F0 cases from the community, cutting off the chain of infection for high-risk and very high-risk areas. Let's follow the reporters.
After the second phase of general screening campaign in Trang Bang, 290 positive cases of SARS-CoV-2 were detected, especially the outbreak at 24 boarding houses of workers in An Thịnh World with 242 infected cases. Immediately after that, the locality carried out blockade, isolation, and treatment for infected cases. At the same time, it immediately implemented treatment plans for outbreaks here. Currently, we are implementing distancing measures for residents temporarily residing in boarding houses, how to ensure two people for each room to maintain distance, at the same time spray disinfectant every 3 days. Along with that, Trang Bang has assessed the risk level for each commune, ward, hamlet, and quarter in the area, thereby identify the right subjects and risk area that needs to be promoted in the testing campaign. Accordingly, Trang Bang has two red zones, including An Thịnh and An Hòa, four orange zones, including Gia Lộc, Lộc Hưng, Phước Bình, and Trang Bang World, two yellow zones, including Hưng Thuận and Phước Chỉ, two green zones, including Gia Bình and Đồng Thuận, 9 red hamlet quarters, 11 orange hamlet quarters, 23 yellow hamlet quarters, 36 green hamlet quarters. In this time plan, Trang Bang focuses on implementing the screening test at race areas and restaurants in An Tịnh, An Hòa, with a very large number of people, according to the spirit of completion, at each point and without exceeding 50 people. Trang Bang has established 56 sampling groups and teams to deploy simultaneously and completely in the areas as soon as possible. Trang Bang is expected to be conducted in three phases. In the red and orange areas, Trang Bang will test every 5 days. The yellow and green zones are organized according to the risk level. It means that it will localize for testing in areas with infected cases every 7 days. For boarding houses with infected cases, we will conduct testing every 3 days to promptly remove F0s from the community. During the implementation of the campaign for each hamlet and quarter identified as red and orange zones, a blockade will be established while waiting for test results. The yellow and green areas in Trang Bang Chau will continue to drastically and thoroughly implement social distancing according to directive of the Prime Minister. In addition, the locality has also established a team in charge of supporting the purchase for households or providing food for people in blocked areas. The tax departments, agencies, and mass organizations have also been implementing many activities to support food for people in difficulty in the area. Solutions and plans that Trang Bang Town has been implementing in this third phase of F0 general screening campaign with the goal of quickly and thoroughly separating F0s from the community. It believes that the green area will be expanded more and more. The red zone will be gradually narrowed. The epidemic will be soon pushed back, bringing people's life back to a new normal.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thanks for being with us and goodbye for now.